and welcome to the Tatted Tatter Crochet and Tatting podcast. My name is Stephanie, and this is Peanut. She wanted to come say hello. We are coming to you from La Mirada, California, here in the LA Orange County area, and this is episode 3. I can't believe it. So first, I do want to say thank you so much to those of you who are coming back, who are subscribers, who've watched, and certainly a warm welcome to anyone who is new. This podcast is all about my tatting and crochet work and things, yarny things that I have been doing, and of course the occasional drop-in from my various animals. So let's go ahead and get started. We will start with what I am wearing, which this is a finished object, so I'll do that second and kind of combine those two. But the other is another tattoo that I want to show you. Tatted Tatter, get it? And this one, I figured we'd done one side of my arm and then the other, so we would just work our way up. And this tattoo that I'm going to show you a picture of is actually in the inside of my elbow, which, let me tell you, was incredibly painful. And I guess I expected it, but it is a lotus flower to kind of go with the Japanese theme of some of my other tattoos. And it was done, okay, I'm gonna put Peanut down because she keeps trying to lick me and I really don't want that sound in the podcast. So say bye-bye, Peanut. Bye-bye. Go on. Go play. She's gonna wanna go outside. Anyway, so it was done by Jonathan Flanagan, who is my cousin's now husband. At the time they were dating, engaged, and he owns a shop called Artistic Obsession in Mechanicsville, Virginia, which is in the Richmond area. And it was done in July 2013. And like I said, just to kind of go with the Japanese theme, and I wanted to get a tattoo from him since he was family, and I love a lot of his work, and so I'm really glad that he did that for me. So, hi, Jonathan.
Thanks.
Okay, so the second one I'm wearing is here. So this is my Neona Shawl. You've seen it the last little bit episodes, and it is all done. So this is it. I'll post pictures of it so you can see the full thing, and so that the color doesn't go all weird on the camera like it likes to do. But this is it. Let me see if I can get it to do it better. See if I don't know if it'll zoom because it's like, hello. It's so lacy. If it'll focus. But this is it. This is the Neona Shawl. You can kind of see the color. It's like a grayish purple with these, I would call this magenta, kind of flecks throughout, and it has stellina, so it's really sparkly, and it's, you know, granny stitches for days, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's super lacy, which is perfect for Southern California because it gets warm here. It's actually a gorgeous day today, and was a little warmer than it had been the last couple days, but cooler than it had been the week before that, so go figure. But this is it. It's from Vicki Brown Designs, the pattern and the yarn. So this is the pattern. So Vicki does a shawl club, and so every other month she'll send you the yarn and a pattern, and for the shawls you can do 100 gram or 200 gram, and so this is the 100 gram. And she also has a sock club, of course. And so this is the January pattern, and she'll release the pattern itself in like a month or two, I think. She doesn't release it until a couple months after the shawl club has gone out to people, so that it's like exclusive, and that's it. So when it does come out, you should definitely go and get it. I don't know if she has any more boxes from January left. You can check her Etsy shop, and I'll put all the links down there, but this is absolutely beautiful, and I love it. The yarn is her 4-ply sparkle sock, and the colorway is January Shawl Club, I guess. But this is it, and I absolutely love it. I've been wearing it the last couple days. I finished it on Friday, finally finished blocking it. And of course I still haven't taken pictures of it yet because it's been a busy weekend, but that's it. I love I don't know if you can see, the points that this comes to on the very end. I think my gauge was a little bit bigger than the pattern, and of course I didn't check my gauge, but oops. So I ended up having to cut out a couple of the last like 3 rows or so. So I pulled out an extra row of the granny stitches, did a kind of a finishing row and then did the edging. But it blocked out to actually be a little bit bigger than the pattern. So I think my gauge was just really loose, which is good because it's super lacy, so that works out. But I absolutely love it. It's super beautiful. Yarn. So my other finished object, I actually just finished today because it's a small project. And this is a face scrubby. So the pattern is called a Plush Face Scrubby, and it's from Holly. I had a moment there. Holly Whedon, and her Ravelry name is Crafty Mommy's Corner, and she is the person behind the Yarn Joy podcast, or Yarn Journey. Yarn Joy is another podcast, but she's Yarn Journey. I'm all over the place today. I'm tired. Yarn Journey podcast, and this is a free pattern. She just released it recently, I think, and it's a face scrubby. It's showing up really like bright in this lighting for some reason, but it's actually much more muted than that, kind of pastel-y. But this is Lily Sugar and Cream. It's 100% cotton, and this is a bigger weight than the pattern calls for. She calls for a 4 or 3, and this is a 4. So I used a bigger hook. I used an H instead of the G that she calls for, or whatever the 4 is. I can't keep all these things straight, especially because it's different in different countries. So anyway, it's really great. You do the 2 pieces and separately, and then when you finish the second, when you crochet them together, I added this chain. It's just a simple 20 chains that I just slip stitched on because I'm gonna use it in the shower, and I have one of those little shower racks, so I'll hang it on there so that it can dry between uses. And I'm really excited about it. I realized that I really needed something like this, and then I was like, oh yeah, hey, I have ridiculous amounts of this sugar and cream from when I first started crocheting, and I just went insane buying yarn, and of course it was on sale. So I have a bunch of these. I have, here's the pattern, and like I said, it's free on Ravelry. The Plush Face Scrubby. And so I have a bunch of yarn I'm gonna make a couple out of, and I also want to make some washcloths and hand towels and just really simple stuff for the house, because I've been realizing that those things it's time to kind of replace them, and so I'm gonna replace them by making them. This only took me maybe an hour, and so I can work up a bunch of them and have them on hand so that when one is being washed or they start to, you know, they need to be washed, that kind of thing. So I've got all of this sugar and cream. I really love this multicolor rainbow kind of, this is the band for the sugar and cream. It's all the same, just different colors. So I'm gonna see there. What is this called? Psychedelic. Yeah. You know, more blues and pinks and purples, and this is one of the denim ones. This is Stonewash. That's the one I was using. Purples, another variegated. This is Peony Ombre. So, and I have, again, a million of these. There's 2 drawers in that thing behind them, rainbow thing behind me, that are full of this yarn. So I'm gonna make a bunch and have them around. So that's gonna be some of my finished objects for next week too. So technically none of them are whips because I haven't started them yet, but they will not take me very long. So feet scrubby. I like that it's like almost as big as my face. It'll be good times. So that is all of my finished objects. I focus really heavily on my Neona Shawl. And I also, it's only been like 4 days since my last podcast because I ended up having to do the last one late. So this might actually be a short episode, except I keep rambling. So we'll see. Who knows? Stay tuned to find out. Whips. Okay, I'm super excited to tell you about my whips because, Peanut, what are you doing? You don't need to go over there. You want to come back up? I got things to show people. Go play. You'll be fine. She's a little attached. But anyway, I am so excited to show you all this. It's living in my knitting chickens bag. And mostly I'm excited to show you this, one, because it's a beautiful pattern and I'm really excited to make it, and beautiful yarn. But two, because of where I started making it. So I mentioned that I live in Southern California, and if you watch Claudia of Crochet Luna, you know that she also lives in Southern California, and it turns out that she lives in the town where I'm from. It's in North County, San Diego, and my parents still live there, so I went down on Friday and hung out with my parents, and then went to Claudia's crochet group through the Crochet Guild of America. And so I got to meet her, which was so much fun, and to sit and work on stuff and talk and hang out. And I hadn't really had the opportunity to do that before with people like in person. So it was really awesome. And we had a great time. Claudia is fantastic, and I'm super excited that I'm gonna be able to keep going. And we've talked about like doing some podcast stuff together, so stay tuned for that. But it was just so much fun, and I loved it. And I was able to get started on my Oswin shawl. So I showed you last time the yarn that I bought from the Yarn Over truck, which is already amazing. But I got started on it, and this is it so far. So I was at this crochet group for like an hour and a half. Hold on one second, I'll be right back. I gotta go let the dog out. That dog has so much energy, it's kind of scary. So anyway, Oswin shawl. Look at it. Yeah, so I was there for an hour and a half, and I got 3 rows done because I could not figure out the pattern to save my life. And luckily I was there with those amazing crochet women, because otherwise I would have been so lost and really sad, because I really want to make this and I really love the yarn. So I had tried doing the pattern. Oh, yeah, when it gets stretched out, it's gonna be so pretty. So I tried reading the pattern. This is the ball. And I'm not going to show you anything because it's a paid pattern, but I'll show you the picture again so you can see what it's going to look like. And it's from Bernadette of Berniolie. That's how I'm going to pronounce it until somebody tells me otherwise. And it's in US crochet terms, but the way that it's written is really confusing. And it might just be that I haven't done enough or read enough patterns to understand what's going on. But there are like brackets in weird places and parentheses in weird places, and we were all trying to figure it out sitting there, and we couldn't. But there is a chart, and so I've never read a chart before to make a pattern. I mean, I've seen them and kind of looked over them and stuff, but never actually used one. So luckily one of the women at this group is like a chart master, and so she kind of gave me the rundown of how the charts work. And luckily the pattern has a legend for the charts about what each of the symbols means. And so I started following that, and then I was like, oh, okay, I got this. And after I got home, or back to my parents' house that night, I worked on a little bit more, and you saw how far I got. And so I'm really excited to keep working on this. It takes a lot of concentration because there's a lot of counting and knowing like where to put slip stitches and things in certain places. And so it'll be something that I will kind of work on slowly, but I'm super excited to finish it. So, or to work on it in general and then have it finished and be that beautiful, gorgeous shawl. So I'm really excited about it. Like I said, the yarn is the Yarn Over Truck lace, and it is their bright, marbled bright blue. So this is it. I guess I could have shown you the side without the price, but it's $28. So marbled bright blue, Yarn Over Truck. You can order yarn from them online. So if you don't live in Southern California, where the Yarn Over Truck goes, you can order from them online, and they go to different conferences and stuff. They're gonna be at Stitches West. And I'm using a 4 hook. This is one of the ones that I got in my Secret Crochet Club box. So it's like the aluminum doesn't go all the way through. I think this is aluminum. It feels like aluminum. So this is like bendy, pliable, I don't know. Pliable is not the right word. It's kind of bendy. So I've actually really enjoyed using these, and I've had some things I'll show you. I also have this is a really big one, but I also have these hooks with kind of the rubber end, and the rubber end slides off of the hook while you're using it. So I don't really like using those very much, but I've enjoyed using these because they seem to be a little bit easier on the hands because you're not holding this end really tight because it moves, and it doesn't come off. It's not sliding off while I'm using it, so we'll see if that changes, but so far so good. Am I knitting? I saw on Instagram, I don't know if this has already happened, but that they're adding more knitting chicken bags to the shop. So it's Katie and the Squid. I'll put the link in. Her mother makes these bags, Debin's bags, and they're amazing and I love them, and everyone should have a knitting chickens bag. So hopefully you can grab one before they go. And I saw on there that her mom is selling them because it helps her out. Her husband had some kind of heart surgery or something, and so this is really helping them out financially as well. So you get a knitting chickens bag and you get to help somebody out who's in need. So anytime you can do things like that, I'm all about it. So that's my Oswin shawl. The other one that I've made some progress on this week is my Woodsy Scarf. So this is from the Knit Crate. Oh, and this is living in my cat bag from CookieCAL. Megan Barclay of CookieCAL. Knit Crate January box, and the pattern is the Woodsy Scarf from Kayla Rankin, who did it specifically for Knit Crate. So this is the scarf, and I have made it to the second section. So last time I showed this to you, I was finishing up the first ball, and you finish the first ball and then you start on a new section with the second ball. So the first one you work one way, and then the second one you work the other. So I started working this way, and now I'm started working horizontally, and now I'm working vertically. And I've gotten about 2 or 3 rows around after finishing the gray section. But this is where we are so far. And this is a lot of fun. I like working on it. I think the texture is absolutely fantastic. And I like the colors of this scarf a lot. So, and they call it a scarf, but I really think it's more of a cowl because it's closed and it's not really long enough to be an infinity scarf. But anyway, semantics. So that's that. And I have the ball. I think I mentioned I had a really hard time winding these, so they're not center pole skeins by any stretch. But I really like the yarn from here. It's Audine Wools for Knit Crate, or by Knit Crate, I think is how they put it. So let me see if I can show you the band. And yeah, there we go. Audine Wools by Knit Crate. And this is the colorway Classic. So it's self-striping, which I really enjoy. I don't think I've ever used self-striping before. I've used variegated, but not. Well, I guess technically Karen Cakes and all that is self-striping, but anyway. And that's that. Working on it as I go. I do, like I said, I want to get it done before my next box comes, which was supposed to come on the 14th, and I'm a little miffed at Knit Crate because apparently there was some kind of shipping issue with like all of their crates, and so it won't come until next week. And that's fine, except that in the email that they sent, it was like, oh, we're sorry, hopefully it works out. I'm like, do you think you should make sure it works out? But it'll get here, and I'm sure it'll be gorgeous, and I'll love it anyway, so I'll get over it. But if they don't, I forgot to put the pattern back in the bag. If they don't, if it happens again, I'll think about doing other ones, because there are so many of these boxes and clubs and crates and all that kind of stuff. So, but so far I am liking the Knit Crate. I will encourage them to do more crochet options, because right now there's only one. But odds of them watching this video are kind of slim, don't you think? So next thing we'll move on to is my whips to be. Basically just updates. So we've been talking about the Blur shawl that I'm using for the Fortune CookieCAL, and also for the Blur shawl, BlurreAlong. Claudia, Crochet Luna, is doing the Fortune CookieCAL, and then Earl Grey Crochet is doing the BlurreAlong, Elizabeth at Earl Grey Crochet. So I finalized everything with Molly. So I talked last time about how Molly Klein Design is going to be dyeing all of the yarn for me special and then sending it my way, and there's gonna be a project bag and all kinds of fun stuff. I told her to surprise me on the project bag, so. And I don't know what the yarn looks like. I just told her what colors I wanted, and then I wanted it to be a Mulan theme, and so we'll see how it goes. I'm so excited to get that and to get started, because the CAL started on Friday, because that was February 16th was Lunar New Year, and so that's the Fortune Cookie CAL to kind of go along with Lunar New Year, and there we go. So I'm really excited about that. Another CAL that I just heard about from Hannah at the Cozy Cottage Crochet. Really, I'm never going to be able to say that correctly. Oh, and I even typed it as the Crazy Cottage Crochet. Sorry, Hannah. Cozy Cottage. The cottage is cozy. Cozy Cottage Crochet. She is doing an awesome CAL that I'm really excited about. She is doing a Knitted Knockers CAL. So if you've never heard of Knitted Knockers, it's an organization where they make and send out and organize and distribute, etc. Basically prosthetic breasts for women who have had either single or double mastectomies. So they've had one or two of their breasts removed for various reasons. From what I understand, it's mostly because of cancer or risk of breast cancer. And so you can knit or crochet a knocker, a breast, and then they stuff it and they send it out to people who need them, and they send them for free, completely for free, no expectation of anything in return. And I think that's just amazing, like helping women who are in need. I understand that like the standard prosthetics that they give for women are like made out of plastic, and they're really hot and uncomfortable, and they irritate the skin, especially in sensitive areas where there's scarring. And it just, I had heard about Knitted Knockers before, but I'm really glad that Hannah is doing this, because I think it's an amazing opportunity to give back and to use our craft to help other women. And so that starts on March 1st. If you go to the chatter thread on the Cozy Cottage Crochet's Ravelry group, you can get all of the information. You have to use specific yarns, because the yarn that you use can irritate, like I said, the area, especially around where there's scarring. And so they've tested like so many different yarns, and they have ones that are approved, and there are specific ones approved for crochet, because knitted fabric and crochet fabric are different. They have different textures and different feels and different results. And so they do have specific yarns. So I'm gonna go ahead and order mine. And I'm just gonna try to make as many as I can with the yarn that I get. I wanna try to make at least one set that's bigger for the bigger breasted women who need the prosthetics. And they also ask that you do them in neutral colors, mostly. You can do some fun colors, but most of the requests they get are for neutrals and natural colors. So I'll try to do different shades and stuff as well. So I'm really excited about that. I'll put all the information in the links to all of Hannah's stuff, and really encourage you to participate in that so that we can help out. Okay, so that's all of my updates on my whips and my whips to be. I'm pretty much going to stick with what I'm working on for right now with the Oswin and my Woodsy. And I'm going to try really hard to finish my color block sweater. I always confuse it with the pullover, and try to get that done as well. So we'll see. I'm not making any promises. I just can't get myself to work on it when there's so many other things to do, but I really want to get on these sweaters. So my tea today, I'm pretty sure somebody sent me this. I think it was Molly from her yarn, but I can't be sure completely. But it's just a stash. It's a decaf vanilla chai, and it's really tasty. And I have it in my Powell's Books mug. So Powell's is a bookstore in Portland, Oregon, and it's been there forever, and it takes up an entire city block. Like, it's just, if you like books, it is heaven, basically. Used books, new books. I mean, it's just, I was there for a good hour, and I walked through maybe a quarter of the store. and I absolutely loved it. I go to Portland a lot for conferences and things. They seem to like to have them in Portland, so hopefully I can go back. But I got this cool mug, Powell's Books. Okay, so almost last but not least, stashay away. So I've gotten some really cool stuff in this last week, deliveries from things that I purchased a while ago, or recently. And the first one that I'll show you is my Inside Crochet magazine. So I told you last time I wanted to get the flame shawl pattern so I could use Catherine from Crafternoon Treats' lace to make that. And so I went ahead and subscribed to a year of the magazine, and I got my first one. I still haven't gotten the back issue yet because I assume they have to like go find it and then send it to me. But this is the February issue. Does it say that on here somewhere? Issue 98. This is issue number 98. And it's there. It is their February. It's all like Valentine's themed and heart themed and love themed and bright pastel-y colors and all that kind of fun stuff. And I really enjoyed reading through it. There's a lot of really cool stuff in here. Some mentions of some people to check out and patterns and blogs. And they even talk about Catherine in here and her stitch markers. So I really enjoyed looking through that. And there's actually a dishcloth pattern in here that I'm going to try out with my cotton to make those. And the other cool thing that they sent with the magazine was a palm maker, and this is a heart palm maker, which is really cool. I don't have any pom-pom makers because I don't make a lot of pom-poms, but I think the heart one is really cool, and luckily there are instructions in the magazine on how to use this thing, because otherwise I would have no idea. I just got this yesterday, so I'm excited to try the heart pom-pom maker and make some fun stuff with that. And I figure like ornaments and things to hang on other things and attach to projects that I give to people and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm really excited about that. Another thing that I wanted to show you, I forgot in my Michael's stash last time that I had found this. So this is Red Heart, and it's called It's a Wrap, and it's 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. And it's super fine. So it's basically lace weight. And it's, this is a 200-gram ball, and you get 1,100 yards. So it's a huge amount of yarn, and it's really pretty. So it's got, again, it's showing up much brighter in this light for some reason, but it's got like a, what would I call this? I would call this like a salmon kind of color, and then a pinkier pink, and then the dark purple. And because I was kind of having a lace moment that week, I thought I would pick it up. This is the colorway Drama. And they had a couple of different colorways. I just really liked it. So it has a pattern for a knitted wrap on here. So I'm going to go on Ravelry and see if they have a crochet version, because I think it'd be a lot of fun to use this to make something. I want to try to do more lacy stuff as we get towards summer, which for us starts in like March. So, and goes until like October. So it'll be nice to have the lacier stuff, to still be able to wear my crochet, even though it'll be hot outside. Really hot. Well, really hot for us. So that's another one. One other one that I wanted to show you is something that was gifted to me. So my mom used to crochet, but her arthritis has gotten to the point where she can't do it very much anymore because her hand goes numb. And if you can't feel what you're doing, it makes it kind of hard to do it, and it makes it really uncomfortable. And so she had bought some Lion Brand homespun. And so this is the colorway Prairie. And it's really cool because it's like this, you know, kind of kinky yarn, and it's super, you know, colorful. It's got all these really different colors in it. And she, I believe there's 6 balls in here, and she had bought it to make, where is it? This Afghan that's on the cover of this Lion Brand book. And you can tell this is a little bit older. It's been a while, I think, since she last tried to crochet, because this was the last thing she bought before she was finally like, I can't do it anymore. So she wanted to make this Afghan, which is the Treble Meditation Afghan. And this is chenille, by the way. I forget to mention that. Let's see, what is this made out of? It's 98% acrylic and 2% polyester. I've definitely never worked with yarn that has polyester in it before, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. It is 170 gram balls, and it has 185 yards per ball. Yeah, and she even had bought the hook too, which it's not marked on here, but she said she bought whatever was for the pattern. So this is an N, a 9mm, and so it's very big. And it's one of the plasticky ones, so it'll be interesting. This looks way bigger than a 9mm, but what is this? This is a 10. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's that. And so I'm gonna make that eventually, and I'll give it to her because it's her stuff and it's her Afghan, so I'll give it to her as a gift. I don't think she watches my podcast, so I can say things like that. If you are watching, hi mommy, you're gonna get an Afghan. But yeah, so I think that'll be really cool. And that'll be fun to try some new yarn and work with different things and all that. It's a mess today. Okay, so my last sachet away. I'm so excited to show you this. I had mentioned that I had ordered some yarn before my last podcast, and I was really excited to get it because I was going to use it to make my Blurred Lines sweater, which I will eventually make. And it is from Moon Tower Dye Works, which is a new Etsy shop. She's not new to dyeing, but she's new to Etsy. And ordered some yarn from her. She sent me this really cool note and these really cute little stitch markers on here. I think these are actually progress keepers for knitting because they don't have like a thing on them. So I think they're supposed to sit on your needles and you know, go back and forth with them. So I'll have to get some lobster claws to put on them so that I can use them as stitch markers, because you can't really put a progress keeper in your crochet and expect that it will stay there or won't stay there, that you can take it out. So I'll have to get some lobster claws for those, but they're really pretty, just with little jewels and stuff. And it's at Moon Tower Dye Works. Get it? But this yarn is absolutely gorgeous, and I bought a lot of it because you need a lot to make a sweater. So bear with me. Oh no, I lost one. Yarn down. Okay, see if I can do this. I can do it. I can do it. Ta-da! Look at these beauties. They're so beautiful. I love them so much. I just want to like get a tub full of them and just lay down in it because they're so soft and squishy and they're so gorgeous. These are going to make an absolutely beautiful blurred line sweater. And then the sweater's from Deanne of Addie Day Designs. And I just watched her most recent podcast, I think it was. And she said she might do a CAL. Yes, please. Please do a CAL. Deanne, if you're watching this, please do a CAL. I would love it. So let me give you some details on this yarn. This is, see, here's your super awesome band. And it's nice and thick. It's like really good quality. Moon Tower Dye Works. Living and dying in Texas. So she's in Austin, Texas. Her name is Anna Shores. And this is the Samson sock, which if you know anything about, you know, the story of Samson and Delilah, I think that's kind of hilarious. And at least I think that's what she's referencing. Samson sock, it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. This is 463 yards to 100 grams. And this is the colorway Moon Rock. So you can see it's gray with, I don't know if I can hold it behind where's my camera? Here it is. So it's gray with flecks of darker gray and kind of brown, even a little purpley. And so there are 3 of these, and that's the first color for the blurred lines. And then there were only 2 of each of these left, so I went ahead and got them, but they're really similar. I think Biscuits is stuck in the closet again. Biscuits, are you stuck in the closet? I think that's a yes. Oh, here, let me adjust you because the sun is doing weird things. So there's those. And they're really similar colors. They even have like similar names. So I'll figure out how I want to do it. If I want to do just like every other or something, or if I want to try to fade them in as well somehow, I'll figure it out. But this is one. So this is the color Topography. And it's the same base, same yarn, same weight and everything, just a different colorway. And it's so pretty. Like, look at this. It's like an aqua marine kind of blue, and it's got like oranges and yellows and just all of these gorgeous colors in here. And so there are 2 of those. And then another one, which is called Topography 2. So Topography the second, if you will. And this one seems to have a little bit more of the orange and the yellows and kind of brown colors. I think it would make sense to do just like a very slight fade. With these, you can kind of see it's yarn butts. These gorgeous colors. I love it. It came in the mail and I was like, good day. It actually came while I was at my parents' house, and so I didn't get to, and Etsy told me it was delivered, and I didn't get to see it till the next day, and so it was extra exciting. But I'm really excited to use those to make the blurred line shawl. And yeah, you should definitely check out Moon Tower Dye Works on Etsy. Anna is hilarious. You should definitely look at the descriptions for all of these, how she comes up with the names. It's always really clever and personal and cultural, and she has like descriptions that are on all of her yarns, and so I have to read this one to you because it's about like how you wash and everything. But she says, I recommend that you hand wash in cold water and lay flat to dry. I use color and wash fast professional dyes, and I rinse my yarn thoroughly to make sure no bleeding will occur. Please consider washing a swatch to test for bleeding if you intend to knit or crochet together with a lighter color. Or laugh maniacally when you read the words hand wash, swatch, lifeline, or gauge and live dangerously like I do. I don't run your life. I just thought it was so funny. Anyway, very clever. It's very funny. And she has sock blanks and yarn, and I follow her on Instagram. It's the same thing, Moon Tower Dye Works. And you can see all of the ones that she's working on, the new ones, and all of her amazing things. The main point of this whole section is that those yarns are beautiful, and you should go check her out. And I cannot wait to make the blurred line sweater, because I think I still have the pattern nearby. I'm very bad at cleaning off of my desk. But this is the blurred line sweater. So you can see how the fade from that gray into the, it's kind of a similar bluey, kind of speckled, but this one has some more of those oranges and lighter colors and stuff in it. So I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, darling. And I got 3 of color 1 and 4 of color 2, well, 2 and 2 of the color 2, because I'm going to try to make the extra large size. So definitely buy the blurred line sweater pattern and then look at how much yarn you need for your size. She goes all the way up to 4X. So it's like extra small to 4X or something. So you've plenty of options, plenty of range. Okay, so that's luckily everything that I have bought in the last little while. Like I said, less buying, more crocheting. So the other thing that I'll talk to you about is some new podcasters that I've found that I want to recommend to you. And the first one is Nicole at the Pine Cottage. I mentioned her briefly last time. She and I started doing our podcasts around the same time. And so I've started watching hers, and she works on a lot of really cool stuff. She does amigurumi as well as just regular stuff. And she's also a newer crocheter as well. So I think if you watch my introductory video, you know that I've only been crocheting since May. And so we're both kind of newbies and having a good time with it and learning new things and figuring things out. And, you know, because there's all kinds of terminology, and then there's things that you need to know about yarn, and just, you know, how to read patterns and where to find patterns and how to use Ravelry and all that kind of fun stuff. So I really enjoy watching her podcast, and I would encourage you to go check her out. And if you're more experienced crocheter, then answer any of the questions that she has. I also just recently discovered Lisa of Happy to Hook. She found me and I started watching her videos, and they're a lot of fun. She makes a lot of really good stuff, and she sells her stuff. So she makes a lot so that she can sell it. So it's cool to see. And I really appreciate, she talks about her family, and just it's very personable, and she's a lot of fun. She's really, really a joy to watch. And then of course, if you have any suggestions, I have a couple that I still have to check out that I have in my list, but I haven't been able to watch yet. So if you have any more suggestions of other podcasters, let me know, and we'll get to watching. There's so many podcasts to watch, and I'm loving all of it. So yeah, so that's everything that I have to show you today. It's a slightly shorter video because I don't have that much, but of course I enjoy talking, so we did that together. And I look forward to showing you some more stuff next week. Hopefully I'll have a good number of things that I've finished and that I have started, because it'll be a whole week, and less buying, more crocheting. I'm gonna keep that as my mantra this week, and I will show you all of the stuff. So thank you so much for watching. Oh, before I forget, I almost forgot. I did have a question or suggestion, request, whatever you want to call it, from someone on YouTube who was watching, and they had a question about some of these lovely amigurumi that are behind me. And so the question was about this fox. And so I'll tell you all about him. This is Freddy the fox. And he is, got some fuzz on him, but this is a pattern from Storyland Amis. And I'll put up the name of the woman who runs it because I can't remember it and I didn't write it down. But this is her Freddy the Fox pattern. And she does what she calls cuddle-sized amigurumi. So amigurumi actually started, I think, as these little teeny tiny things. And it's started in Japan. And so she does what she calls cuddle size. So this is one of the bigger ones, the cuddle size Freddy the Fox. And then I used impeccable solids, loops and threads, impeccable solids to make this guy. So I'll put the link to the pattern and everything. She has an Etsy store as well as her own website where you can buy her patterns. And they're a lot of fun. So I also did from her Gerald the giraffe. I think Gerald's one of my favorites, because I love giraffes. Giraffes are one of my favorite animals. And he's so cute. He's got these little heart spots and a little tail. So I will put that, I want to say her name is Holly. I'm pretty sure it's Holly. But Storyland Amis, Storyland all one word. And yeah, you too can make these beauties. One of these days I want to try to make a Gerald in a really chunky yarn. I think her sister or somebody did one, and it was, I'll just put these over here. It was absolutely fantastic and adorable. And again, who doesn't love giant stuffed animals? That's exactly what you want when you're a kid, right? The biggest one in the store. So yeah, so there's these little cuties. I love them so much. So yeah, so that's it for today, and I will see you next week. Again, I'm going to try to keep with my schedule on filming over the weekends and having the videos out by Sunday evening. And we should be able to do that tonight as well. I got a little bit of things to do. And my sister-in-law and brother-in-law are coming over. And then we're going to go eat Korean barbecue. So that'll be a good time. If you live anywhere that has Korean barbecue, go eat it. It's delicious. And if you don't live somewhere that has Korean barbecue, go find somewhere that does, because it is fantastic. Of course, assuming you are not a vegetarian. If you're a vegetarian, don't go to Korean barbecue, because it's basically all meat. Anyway, random rambling. And that's everything that I have. So I will see you next week. Thank you very much for watching. You can find me on Instagram as The Tatted Tatter and on Ravelry as Tatted Tatter. Please do subscribe and like and comment, and let me know if you have any podcasters, or especially if you have any pattern or yarn ideas for any of the things that I've talked about. I would really appreciate it. That would be great. So anyway, thank you very much, and I will see you all again next week. Bye.